Morning, guys. Cracking on females in TikTok videos is fun and all, but men's rights are my main concern. We laugh to escape the reality of this world we live in. Unfortunately, the war on men continues, and it continues to create casualties. Let's check this article out. From Burlington County Times, men's mental health isn't talked about enough. Here's why it's important. Page Venable Seneca High School. Over the years, mental health issues have become more prevalent due to social media, the stress pressure of school, and extreme standards set for both men and women. Unfortunately, depression and anxiety among boys and men tend to get widely ignored. Nowadays, society seems to believe that women are the only ones who experience mental illness. However, that's not true. Men experience similar problems, and the fact that their issues are constantly overlooked is unacceptable. Well, women are synonymous with mental issues. I think it's nearly 3/4 of females have a prescription for some type of antidepressant or anti-anxiety medication. The main part of the issue is society's fault. As we put an absurd amount of pressure on boys to hide their emotions and feelings, some common ideals that have been continuously reiterated over the years are boys don't cry, don't be a girl, and don't be such a baby. These specific ideals can have a significant impact on boys. Boys grow up believing that they can't cry or else they're acting or behaving like a girl. As they grow up believing this ideology, they get to the point where they don't feel comfortable expressing their emotions due to the potential reactions they will receive in return. The idea that boys don't cry traps them in a deep hole that is challenging to get out of and can often seem inescapable. In an article on psychom.net, licensed mental health counselor Henry A. Montero states, men raised in a system that promotes traditional masculinity have complicated feelings towards their own emotions. Often they attempt to shut them out or avoid them completely. Now, we talk about this a lot, the ridiculous high standards that men are held to, and they've become increasingly harder to achieve. When someone tells you that you have to do something, then they actively make it harder for you to do. This can drive anyone crazy. The pressure that society puts on men to bottle up their emotions and feelings puts them in a tough situation as a result. They can't even feel comfortable opening up to their own family. Not only that, but the idea can cause larger problems that lead to greater mental health struggles. As boys grow up hearing those phrases over and over, they can often tend to raise their own boys in the same way. This leads to a continuous cycle of toxic masculinity, which leads to a whole other world of problems. Well, this is a constant struggle, trying to raise strong, independent men in a society that is rooting for them to fail. Wouldn't it be better for us to focus our energy on strengthening the family instead of destroying it, so our boys can feel comfortable expressing themselves? The pressure to express certain emotions and fear of being called a girl or too feminine leads to mental health problems, including depression, anxiety, and even suicidal thoughts. According to the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention, men are 3.5 times more likely to die by suicide in the United States. Obviously, there are various aspects that can contribute to that statistic, but the extremely high standards set for men in terms of being masculine are definitely one of them. In fact, suicide in this country has reached epidemic levels. According to the Center for Disease Control and Prevention, suicide rates increased 30% between 2000 and 2018, before declining during the pandemic. Still, it remains a leading cause of death in the United States, with 45,979 deaths in 2020, about one death every 11 minutes. The suicide rate for males was 3 to 4 times the rate for females between 2000 and 2020. Well, these numbers are disturbing. So many lives lost. And for what? I'm sure a womanist would call it collateral damage. Another contributing factor is the fact that the media has brainwashed society into believing that women's mental health is greater or means more than men's. Isn't that the opposite of the goal we've been striving to achieve for the past century? For a long time, we've wanted to be viewed as equal to men in essentially every aspect. But when did becoming superior to boys become the goal? Well, that's always been the goal. Some of the most heinous atrocities against humanity have been veiled in the pursuit of liberty. Nowadays, whenever the topic of mental health is discussed, it seems as if girls are the only ones who experience it. Of course, that statement is false. I'm not agreeing with the fact that men's mental health is superior. They are equal. At least they're supposed to be. Both men and women need to join together to combat mental illness, rather than as two separate groups. Overall, there needs to be more awareness of mental health issues, especially today. The fact that this problem is constantly overlooked is unacceptable and an embarrassment. If we keep ignoring this problem, it'll continue to grow bigger and cause more issues later on in the future. You can help support this cause by standing up for men and women, as both of their mental health problems are valid. If you or someone you know needs help, call the National Suicide Prevention Hotline at 800-273-8255. Well, the fact that this is written by a high school student gives me hope. Paige Vendahl from Seneca High School, this is impressive. But the truth is, any ideology that discriminates against one group in order to give an advantage to another is doomed to fail, if only for the contradiction of it. But guys, let's look out for each other. And that's all I got. We'll talk to you soon. Peace.